Welcome back. We've done a little bit of world bidding in the previous little video that we put out, and those of you on Twitch with us as we do it, good to have you back. So from here, we're going to go into the let's call it the game proper. Today it'll be a bit of a getting the gang back together, moderately literally given the circumstances of the players. So, uh, since everybody is ready, we'll just kind of get into it. And we will start with Macy Parker. Macy, today's the day. It is the first day of spring, the first day for you to enjoy your freedom once again. I imagine the walls of your cell have been lined with the little calendar check marks as you have been anxiously awaiting your release. Um,
Yes, definitely.
as the camera starts off high in the sky, coming down through the deep cloud cover of Seattle, through the little bit of rain into the deep smog cloud, as the first rays of the day's dim lights come through the windows on your cell. What does what and who does the camera see?
Um,
This is a physical description time.
Sorry, I'm blanking. Um, well,
So let's start high
should
concept.
have maybe. I should have
You are
maybe
you are
written
an
this down.
elf.
I am an elf, indeed.
You are a female elf, if memory serves. You are likely wearing some wonderful, form-flattering
Yeah.
orange jumpsuit with a pair of
Yes,
mage
orange.
cuffs on your arms.
Yes. Which
Is there anything you would like to add to your very brief description, or
Um, in just just fairly average, maybe a bit short for an elf. At 1.6 meters, which is 5.3 feet inches. I don't fucking know.
those of us that are familiar with freedom units appreciate your conversions?
Yes. Well, she is fairly beautiful, like fairly untarnished skin. Fairly impressive looking in that regard, but um, not really any special markings that you could
Sure.
think discriminating.
And
Her back long. It's only brown, but not going to stay brown for a long time.
yep, gotta rep your gang colors, I'm sure.
Yes.
You are broken out of your moment of excitement and joyous as a loud clanging sound begins to come down the aisle of cells, and that can only really mean one thing. Here comes Bertha. It's the last time you're ever gonna have to see her. Her large troll form comes stomping down the. I want to call it an alleyway, but it's not an alleyway. Hallway. That's the thing.
Yes.
Banging uh, her billy club against the bars, waking everybody up as it's time for breakfast. Not for you though. As she stops in front of your cell, Barker, Macy, let's go.
That's me.
She'll open up your cell doors after glancing off an AR and communicating with whoever is in the tower today. As you come up to the gate, she'll, kind of grab you roughly by the shoulder as she does with her meaty troll mitts and begin to push you roughly past the people that you've spent the last 6 years of your life with, trapped in here. Most of them you probably
Okay.
won't remember too well, given the whole, magehood and other things that they have subjected you to keep you from doing bad things.
I repress the urge to yell, "See you suckers," loudly.
They bring you down to the clinic, as it were, and they sit you down. It's like, so we've explained to you the details of what's going on underneath your criminal sin. There will be two deterrent devices implanted underneath your skin, one by the artery in your thigh, one at the base of your skull. They are purely deterrent should you ever decide to return to your criminal ways. Secondarily, in your left arm, we will place a tracking device so that we know where you are at all times that we wish to ping it. You will be given a comm link that will be for communication with your parole officer. I believe you are here assigned to Officer Friendly. He is a wonderful gentleman. Always so nice. And are you okay with all of these?
Uh, you're making me feel like I don't want to actually leave right now.
Oh, but see, this was part of the parole.
Yes, it's all right. I'm joking.
Okay. I mean, Bertha kind of crosses her arms and harumphs a little bit. Could put you back. Now,
Oh,
Bertha, that
I'm thanks, Bartha. No need for that.
and
You have a nice day, Bartha.
you will be given a set of AR gloves and some image link glasses with which to flip through the last bit of the paperwork that you will have to sign, and then the camera will pull back out of that tiny little room with the very large angry troll, back out of the correctional facility, medium security, specializing in magically active folks, and fly across to the Redmond Barrens, where it is the sign of a better time, or a worse time, depending upon who you are. It's a place of broken down buildings, broken down people, but this is where a lot of people will make our living. And coming into a tiny little apartment block with a whole bunch of vibrant purple and black markings and graffiti all over it into a small room, which works out because it's got two very small people in it and a feminine voice yelling, "Boys, get up!" And what
Yeah,
does the
yeah.
camera see inside?
Um, I guess I'll start. We see a gnome with the first thing you notice is that he has this giant, oversized cyber arm, um, and he's got half of his head shaved with like the long hair, classic cyberpunk hairstyle. That's black with some like a purple stripe in it. The shaved side of his head is shaved because he has some slots in it and like cyberware plates. And he is just sitting up like against the wall with in what you would call his bed, I guess, which is just like a collection of rags and blankets and things. And he's just perusing the news and catching up on things for the day.
Nearby, you see another gnome. He's laying in his bed with his arms folded over his chest. Very intense look on his face. You can tell it's probably usually like that. He has very short hair. Um, aside from his skin, which people may be able to recognize as being ortho skin, he doesn't have any apparent modifications. And he just remains silent and sits up at the edge of the bed.
Now, boys, I do believe today is the day you were supposed to go get your friend. Been talking about it quite a bit.
Yeah, I have it set on my alarm here.
And as you say that, the alarm goes beep, 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 because she was, as mamas tend to do, get you up just 5 minutes before your alarm for school.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks,
Would,
Mama.
wouldn't want you to oversleep now. Why
Mm,
don't you go grab your friend and bring her on back here?
will do.
Oh, and get your tall friend wherever he is. I seem to have misplaced him.
Yeah, we'll track him down.
Bye, boys.
Bye. Come on, Gloomy Gus.
It's Greg. You know it's Greg.
I know it's Greg. And my character interchange goes over and starts slotting some chips into his head out of like a little like plastic box that he keeps them in. Keep the dust off of him.
I imagine Dexter style slides.
Yeah, something like that. Um, and he he gets ready and we head out. He had calculated out the time that he needed exactly to like prepare all of his stuff and get to where he needed to go. Get there like 15 minutes early.
And where are you gonna? Where's their tall friend?
He's probably lying in one of the hotels nearby. Empty bottle, like empty inhalers of jazz and burnt out cigarettes next to him.
Sounds like a fine, upstanding contributor to society.
Precisely.
Do you guys do the tiny terrors call him, or do you just roll up on him?
I think we would have let him know beforehand because we probably would have known that he was supposed to join up with us. And my character is very big on like preparing beforehand, so he would have sent him various DNIs or text type messages. And then when we showed up, if he wasn't outside, I'd definitely call him.
Well, here's a question then. From your night before of cigarettes and jazz inhalers, did you get the text messages and alerts all night, or are you still asleep?
He probably got them and then ignored them.
Okay, so then you're asleep this morning when they come knocking
Yeah.
at the time of rosy dawn fingers. Excellent. So, you have no response to him being there when you so precisely reminded him when you were going to be there.
So let out a big sigh, looks over at Ascend. He's like, I guess we gotta go get him. He's probably passed out up there or something.
Do we know what room he's in?
I imagine as this is on your turf, you guys probably set him up with this room and then would probably know which room is his.
All right.
All right. So
I'm gonna head
yeah, let's go wake him up.
over there.
Alright, so you guys are going to come in and open up the door to find a passed out human. Or, I'm sorry, are you an elf or are you?
Human, yeah.
Excellent.
I don't know why we have to have this filth with us all the time. Shouldn't even be allowed in the gang.
Interchange just walks over and he's like, hey, get up.
Like, how close are you walking over?
Like probably 5 feet away.
You're gonna have to convert that for me.
Like a meter and a half.
Okay, so yeah, a bit out of reach, yeah.
But not if you had a bottle to throw at him.
He probably has the inhaler in his hand, most likely.
There you go.
How do you
Yeah.
fall asleep on jazz? It's like the opposite of a jazz.
I mean, you would have taken it and
crash.
fallen asleep afterwards.
Yeah,
He took so much that the stun damage made him sleep.
not so much sleeping is passed out.
So it's probably just to sort of wake himself up, like as it, in classic films where someone's startled and they're kind of like waving arms, going "Rrrr," as they wake up. It's
Yep.
pretty much like that, drooling halfway down his face.
Perfect. I imagine though, since this is in a Redmond place, we don't have a bed with a box spring and mattress and all that other wonderful things for you to fall off of. It's probably just a mattress on the floor like the crackhead in the room next to you.
Yeah, he probably rolls over into someone's hepatitis-covered needle. But beyond that,
Home sweet home, right?
yeah.
Easy, buddy. It seems like you had a rough night. As I'm like picking up one of the inhalers, looking at it, and then just
It's kinda
tossing it.
Just holds his head. He's like, "It was a good night."
We'll get your ass up. We gotta be at the prison in 20 minutes.
Typical fucking
Yes.
human.
Just goes, "All right, just give me a minute." Walks over to one of the windows in the thing and unzips himself and relieves himself.
And on that wonderful pitter patter of liquid begins hitting the ground, the rain in Seattle that it is oh so famous for begins to fall as the camera pulls back up, and then we are flown back over to the prison where at the proverbial bus stop, a young elven woman is being not quite shoved out of the front door by a large troll wielding a billy club, but gently prodded with said billy club of, go on, get going.
Yeah, don't shove me, big guy.
It's Bertha.
Uh, You have a nice day, Bertha.
Just kind of will watch you until you step off of official prison grounds, like that little digital barrier that's like, all right, not our problem anymore. The gate will roll shut behind you, and you'll hear that satisfying click as you are on the outside, a free woman, ignoring
What
the
do I
mage
even,
cuffs on your arm and the soreness at the back of your neck.
what do I even have with me right now?
Basically, the stuff that is on your character sheet that is not a obvious weapon, that can be stuff that the gang gives you, since you
Yeah, I was
did
just
pay
about to
for it
say.
with
I
with
think
the.
Interchange comes over and hands you a duffel bag. He's like, you can get changed later.
Oh, you're already
What
here.
what kind of vehicle does she see pulling up?
I believe it is Archon's
Yeah.
vehicle.
Chrysler Nissan Jackrabbit subcompact version.
Ascend is on his own motorcycle.
Oh God,
Is
part
the
of me loves to hate
horizontal
it.
Revolution, the one with the big wheel that you sit inside of.
Oh, no, me.
So, what is the condition of said jackrabbit? Is it a clunker? Is it nice and new? Is it? Sell me on it.
It's kind of in between. It's obviously been used and battered, and has a few holes in it that bullets may or may not have gone through.
Speed holes.
Yeah. It goes fast. By fast I mean it barely runs. So it's on its way out.
Okay.
Like it chugs along.
It gets to where it needs to be, but don't
Yeah.
count on it to pass inspection.
Precisely.
Okay. So, I'm going to imagine that Macy hasn't seen this car before, but has probably seen the motorcycle because that's not the kind of thing you really forget. But these are the vehicles that are pulling up to pick you up from this bus stop as it is raining outside. The bus stop probably has a little overhang, so you're not exactly being rained on, but at the same time, it's a very depressing scene in the greatness of Seattle's first day of spring.
Just sitting there wondering if they'll actually show up.
And then,
And
lo
they
and
do.
behold, they do. You guys may.
Yo, Bragg and Greg. And whoever
Yeah.
that is.
Never gets old, does it?
I just walk up to, like, the gang shake. No, it's not the gang shake, it's a gang shake.
It's the.
It's just something you do that annoys the rest of us.
It's like, that's not even how it is. That's not how it works. In your departing package from the prison, they did give you a location and an appointment for your parole officer to go and meet with Officer Friendly.
How
Which
soon is that?
probably within the next hour and a half. It'll, they gotta get you to sign some paperwork over there before you can fully go free. And about an hour and 20 minutes is what it would take for the next bus to come and to take you there. But as you have a wonderful motorcycle to ride on, or the jackrabbit.
I don't know if I fit in the motorcycle together with the gnome.
Well, gnomes are only like 2.5, 3 feet tall, so you can put them on your lap. It'll be cute.
I will not allow this.
Just the same, actually.
But you do have a little bit of time if there is someplace else you wanted to go before your appointment today.
No, really. I mean, shit. I need cigarettes, and then we can go there.
I'll just pull out a pack from my pocket and just hand them to you, as well as a bunch of matches.
Thanks.
10 matches.
Guy, who are you exactly?
Just shrugs and says, I'm with them.
Sure. Guess you don't have a name. Let's go.
So you guys want to do
Can't
anything before
wait.
you... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can't wait. to meet this guy.
So you guys, I imagine, go get a burger and a couple of packs of smokes, because as what I learned from Iron Man is the first thing you want after a long time of imprisonment is a burger.
Yeah,
Sure.
and probably give her some place to change too.
What,
Yeah.
the orange jumpsuit is so fashionable.
It might be.
Oh right, we
Like-
don't have any proper gloves. Fuck that shit.
Well, that could be provided in a care package from Mama Jones, which would be the rest of the stuff on your character sheet. I
That would
imagine
be awesome.
somewhere in there your buddies would have gotten together the funds and stuff for a fake ID for you, because I believe
need
you have
like
one
a-
of those.
Proper band shirt and like a leather jacket or something. It's not orange jumpsuit garbage.
Yeah, you could totally pick that up pretty easily. You guys have a little bit of time before your wonderful appointment with Officer Friendly. So, fast forwarding to that, it is going to be a nice little place in downtown Seattle, in one of the more business-oriented complexes. But this is near a let's call it like just like a parking garage. Only it's like the first row of it is full of other various stores, and there's a moderately nondescript building that you are to go into. There's a couple of cubicles set up. Have you guys ever been into like an insurance office where they have all those little cubicles and things set up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really, actually.
All right. Well, you need to get out more.
Joins of bureaucracy.
I do all my insurance online.
Right. That's why it's. I haven't been in one until like I needed to find out whether or not my windshield glass was covered under insurance.
All right.
Because I didn't feel like talking to people on the phone. That's not important. So it's a little, or imagine like a dentist's office where instead of chairs where they have horrible drilling devices, they have chairs with horrible cutting devices and people that are there to ask you questions about, what have you done that's illegal in the past 2 weeks,
It's worse than dentist.
right?
It's worse than dentists.
So pulling up outside, is everybody going to go in or just a Miss Parker?
No, just me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want us to go in?
Definitely not.
Excellent. So coming in, there will be a young dwarven woman who is sitting behind the counter. Here's the little digital tinkle of the bell to draw her attention to you entering. You're wearing whichever terrible band T-shirt you wish to be wearing at this point.
Yes, just some random band that I listened to while I was inside.
And she will pipe up, seeing your wonderfully forcibly displayed criminal sin. Like, you're early. Officer Friendly will be very happy to hear that. You can have a seat here for a minute, and we'll be right with you. And there's a
Can't wait! And I do like a super fake smile.
excellent. The other three, you guys with your outside, do you want to do anything, or are you just going to kind of hang out and wait for her to get finished?
I
I'll
think
offer the other two a smoke.
I'll tell you to get away from me.
I will stare down at the little man.
I'm just laughing because it looks like that you're handing cigarettes to little kids. You want some smokes?
Smoke.
Do you want some drugs? Drugs will make you strong and big.
Interchange is just like looking over your car. He's like, "Dude, we gotta work this thing out. This is awful. Why'd you do this thing?"
It's a long story. I'll tell you about it sometime.
Well, we just gotta get some money together, and I can fix this all up for you, no problem.
That would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, your steering linkage, it's all rusted up. It's terrible. This could break any minute.
I imagine him saying that as he pushes down with his huge strength cyberarm and just hearing it go.
Yeah,
See this? This is bad.
this is something you never want to have happen to your car.
Thank you. I appreciate
You see
that.
this hose right here? Rip. That's bad.
Shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I think he's actually like opened the hood now, and he's like using his cyber arm to like the utility tools that are on it to like work on the engine and stuff to try and do whatever maintenance he can while he waits.
Sure, you could throw a automotive mechanic, and we'll see how well that goes.
Sure.
I have this adorable picture of him dangling over at feet kicking in the air like Child Link getting a treasure chest.
Totally.
Perfect.
Inside, we will hear Parker, Macy.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Officer Friendly will see you now, and she will get up from her little elevated chair onto the little stool and come around to escort you into the back past a couple of uh, other little offices that have people in probably a similar situation to you. You'll be brought into a lovely little office with a let's make him a elven man in a very nice suit who has some slicked back kind of greaseball hair. Um, he is currently with his back towards the door in what looks like a filing cabinet or something along those kinds of a physical storage device. And hearing the door open, the receptionist will be like, "Officer Friendly, Miss Parker is here to see you now." And he will give a loud thud of a refrigerator closing and spin around dramatically, clapping his hands. "Oh, Miss Parker, it is so good to see you. Please, if you'll have a seat, we'll get right to all the necessary paperwork."
I'm just trying really hard not to cringe, but I'm totally cringing. And I'm like, hello.
Oh, we're gonna be good friends.
Thanks.
I like you already. Have a seat. And as you sit down, the chair will make a little squeak, and he'll just kind of do that thing where he fluffs his jacket as he rearranges himself in his chair. It's like, so, congratulations on being released. Must be great to be out in this wonderful Seattle weather again.
Yeah, I've not really much time to get used to it yet. Thanks, sir.
Oh, it'll grow on you. It's good for you. So there's just a few
Yes.
awkward bits of paperwork for one, and he'll kind of do a half hand motion down at the mini fridge that is to his side. Gonna need to take a little blood. I hope you're not squeamish about needles.
Nah, I'm good.
Excellent.
I was expecting this part.
Wonderful. And I'm aware in your paperwork here they mentioned the new deterrent devices, and he droops his shoulders and gets a bit of a frowny face when he says that.
Yeah, but that. I am.
Fuck that indeed.
Essentially-
After you leave here, I will send you over to an associate of mine to make sure everything involved with them is in working order. You know, at the prison, they sometimes don't have the best of care underneath their medical doctors. They might just, be one to processing people, especially towards the end of the month. So I want to make sure everything is nice and good to go. Wouldn't want any accidents with those things.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Wonderful. So outside, you guys have done a little bit of cleaning up. Like, I know nothing about engines, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and tell you that you cleaned his spark plugs in like 10 minutes, because I don't know if that's how that works. But you definitely found a little bit of tune-up things that you could do, like cleaning off the battery connectors, like cleaning them off with a little bit of just like random cloth rust or things. There looks like there was an animal that built a nest in the engine somewhere. That was probably contributing to that banging sound you guys were hearing, but you've cleaned that up, so that's good.
Nice.
So
Just throwing stuff on the road.
yeah, it's like, this isn't good. This belt is broken and worn through. Down the street, as we are in downtown, there is a noodle shop, and there is an automotive shop that you can go and jump in and just grab some parts to fix up the various hoses that are worn out and stuff. Just to maybe have it not be a piece of crap, maybe be just a piece of junk.
Yeah, I think I interchange mentions that to Archon, just like, hey, we could just go down the street and get some of these things. They're not even that expensive. I could have this thing working probably by the time she gets out here.
You know what? You're right. She's going to just turn around and walk down the street and into the store.
Excellent. You guys can
Now, are these parts on display?
just... I kind of like where you're thinking. Keep in mind there's a parole office less than a block away.
I mean, he's not that clever.
All right.
Like, how on display are they? Like, And how big are the pieces? Could he potentially palm them and
Um,
sort of slip them into his rucksack?
so once again, I don't know much about cars, but I imagine with hoses and stuff, they can be not necessarily fairly long, but pretty decently sized. So if you want, you can totally roll a palming roll to try and steal stuff. And if the gnomes want to do anything to assist, by all means, you guys have the opportunity. Especially if he's mentioning ahead of time that he intends on stealing this stuff.
Yeah,
He's pretty skinned, so he'll mention that.
yeah.
Hope you get caught.
I love it.
Rot in prison where you belong.
Um, you really don't need to, like it's not that much money. Like the stuff that's in you is probably worth like I don't even know how much, but seriously, you can't afford just like I don't know 30 new yen to fix up your car.
I could afford it. It's just a lot less fun.
I'm not going to argue with you on that point, but you just got one person out of prison. Let's keep it like at least 6 hours in between prison visits.
He's going to look rather dejected at that. He's like, fine.
That's my goal. That's my only goal. So after 6 hours, all bets are off.
The pimply faced, squeaky voiced teenage human will be very happy to handle your purchases.
Like how tall is this human?
Let's go with 5'2". He seems to be 17, maybe 18 years old.
Must like just sort of look at him like he's nothing and be like, I think you've got the discount, mate.
Do you want to roll some kind of intimidation or something upon him?
If I had intimidation, I would do that.
Worst criminal ever.
Yeah.
He'll
do it and default to 1 die.
I think it might actually be that.
It is because you have 2 charisma.
I don't even have that. I have 1.
What?
Yeah.
Even worse, criminal.
Can you speak when you have 1 charisma?
not well.
He is nothing.
So he'll be like, "I'm sorry, sir. You don't seem like you qualify for the senior citizens discount."
Just looks annoyed and is like,
Oh.
he grunts a lot.
Okay.
I think knowing that you only have 1 charisma, like obviously I don't know your stats, but like we've interacted with you enough to know that even though I gave you the warning, it might not have clicked there. So I think Interchange is like, could you at least go and just make sure that he doesn't do anything crazy?
Nope.
Please?
Nope.
I mean, he understands social niceties. He's just not good at them. And
He just chooses to ignore them.
yeah.
Best case scenario, he gets himself killed. We get a free car.
I love it.
I mean, he looks down at the engine and it's like got pieces taken off of it now, and he's like, I guess I am fixing it up.
Exactly.
Looks back at the auto shop. Looks back at the parole office. I guess we'll just see how this plays out.
So back inside, Officer Friendly has your sleeve rolled up, the little rubber band around it, and he's pulling out he's like, and there we go. All nice and done. That wasn't too bad now, was it? As he puts that vial into his little mini fridge and then gets a little hand sanitizer. He will put it down and kind of nudge it towards you if you wish to sanitize that section of your arm.
Nah.
Now, we're going to need to do some call-ins, once or twice a week. But I'm always open if you need to talk. I like to make sure that my charges are adjusting well to life here on the outside. And I have a number of people that I can introduce you to if you find that you have troubles and need adjusting.
What about troubles with implants?
What kind of implants? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean as to what kind of troubles you could be having with your...
Never mind.
Oh, I wouldn't want to think that you're up to anything unsavory, and he gives you a giant wink.
Just making sure that I wouldn't want to get any weird side effects. Maybe.
There'll probably be some itching for a little while. It's normal as the skin heals over, and hopefully they they used clean utensils in there. It's yeah, not exactly the cleanest of places. He shakes his fingers out a little. That's why I'm going to send you to my man. He's going to make sure that you are in good health and ready to go with your new life that you've been afforded. Large smile on his
Thanks.
face the whole time.
Didn't actually expect that.
And he will, well, that about wraps us up here. Do you need me to call you a cab?
No thanks.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing you in about 3 days' time for our first meeting. It'll just be over the comm link. You still have the one they gave you at the prison, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Keep that
Thanks.
on you, because if I can't get a hold of you, I got to send Officer Steve after you, and you don't want that.
Sure, Officer Steve's a nice guy.
Oh, he's a wonderful man, but he's not nearly as friendly as I am.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a good day. And he'll, kind of wave towards the door, which will then pop open, and the receptionist will be there waiting to escort you out back to your friends, where you will see a car with the hood up and parts all over the ground.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
You didn't hear the clunking on the way over? Are you serious?
It's a piece of shit car. Of course it's gonna clunk.
Well,
Yeah,
It
well,
is a piece of
he's
crap.
not just going to leave it alone.
yeah, it is a piece of crap now, but I can make it nice.
Sure. We all have hobbies, right?
Where the hell is Archon? Seriously, could you go check on him? Like, I'm worried now.
Is that what his name is? Archon?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what he told us. He hasn't told us his real name, so
That's a stupid name.
hey, whatever.
Isn't that like these lightning guys? Archons? No?
I have no idea. Kind of reminds me of like, I played this game a little while ago, StarCraft 37 or something. There was
Oh, whoa,
something
whoa,
like
whoa, hold on. With the way Blizzard releases things, you're on StarCraft 4 at best.
Right.
That's true. That's true. I take that back. StarCraft 4, 5, maybe.
And it's really only 4 because after the second Matrix crash, they had to rebuild everything. It was really only going to be like StarCraft 4 was really started off as an expansion to StarCraft 3, the second expansion. But then,
Right.
Matrix crash happened and they decided to launch it as a whole game on all of its own.
Of course.
Sure. Video games. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's not what I was thinking of. Never mind.
How long has
So-
Ryan's character been gone?
Yeah,
I don't know.
go.
Did you go? Do you actually want to try and steal stuff, or are you just going to buy it?
Nah, he got talked down from it. He's gonna dejectedly buy it.
Okay. So he will put your purchases in the bag, and his voice will squeak as he says, "Thank you for shopping."
Just gonna growl at him as I leave.
If you turn around to look, which you probably won't, he'll be waving out the door at you.
I need to remember this place because I'm gonna rob it later.
But yeah, no, interchange. Archon will come back with a bag of things that look similar to the things that you threw on the ground.
Sweet. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, this will work. Yeah. No, this is good. This is good, big guy. And then I start installing all the parts again.
Yep.
I look for a shop that sells like hair dye.
Sure, there just could be a beautician's a little bit down the block. Probably on the opposite side of the automotive shop, because I like to imagine the boyfriend's going there while the girlfriends are getting their hair done.
Sure, cool. I'm just leaving them to whatever the hell they're doing right now.
Who
And
can ever tell with gnomes?
get some purple dye because
Awesome.
it fucks my hair right now.
So you'll walk in, and a rotund elven woman will say, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And then you'll see her voice kind of drop off. Well, you won't see her voice. You'll hear her voice kind of drop off at the end of that, as something in AR pings her attention. How can I help you today? As you notice her slide over directly in front of what serves as a cash register in the sixth world.
Do they have like open aisles? where you can just pick
Yeah,
yourself up?
it's not like
constantly?
it's like a big place. Imagine like two walls with a single aisle in the middle. It's fairly large because it's got to accommodate the troll.
Mhm.
So they're a
I'm
little
just not gonna
wider.
talk to her and just going to pick the die up.
Sure. As you walk deeper in the store, you will hear her feet flop like walking along behind you. It's like, can I help you find something today?
Nah, no.
Okay. And then she will kind of go back towards the edge, but she is very clearly keeping an eye on you.
Yeah, I'm already annoyed at everything and my life in general. But I'm just going to pick up the die and walk to the counter and pay for it.
She will ring up your purchase, keeping a wary eye upon you the whole time, and then have a good day.
I'm just walking out without saying anything.
Out of the corner of your eye through the wonderful glass window, you will see her go back over to the aisle where you picked up the hair dye from and kind of give it the once over, just to make sure nothing is out of place.
Fuck her.
So you will rejoin the crew just about the time where all of the parts are back inside the vehicle, and it is drivable.
Yay! Can we go now, guys?
Please start her up.
Just get into the car and start it. Try to start it working.
Believe it or not, it does start up, and it doesn't have that whatever that screeching sound was that the last time you started up was, which may or may not have been whatever was making a nest inside your engine.
He just looks really confused, like, it works.
Of course it works. What do you think I am?
He just, like, makes, like, just really small, like, you know when you hold two things, like your index finger and your thumb? And I just hold something, like, really small there.
Damn, he got
But
racist on
tiny.
you.
Yeah, whatever. Just drive us.
Please, I need to get to this. I want to say clinic. I don't fucking know what this is. I need
I hope for the love of God it's a clinic.
whatever is at this address, we'll see when we get there.
So the address is actually out in the seedier parts of downtown on one of the borders to one of the less nice zones. It is a small clinic. It is in a standalone building. But it's, in a much nicer neighborhood than you guys are used to in the Barrens.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
everybody
right in.
going inside, or
You guys
Does he
can come
want
in
us
if you want to.
Does she want? Okay.
I don't
I-
care.
My character's just gonna like keep an eye on the other two. So like if they go in, he'll go in.
I mean, I'll go in, because he said I could go in.
I'm
Sure.
gonna stay out.
you gonna mind the car?
So
Or
he looks between Greg. Well, he would just call him Greg, but Greg and Archon. And he just looks at Archon and then follows Archon.
so the three of you go inside this place. It is, let's call it a fairly standard clinic, although you can see with your trained criminal eyes that it is more reinforced in certain places. The glass that is by the I almost called it a hostess stand. The receptionist area is like actually reinforced and has one of those small little divots for passing cred sticks under. The floor in front of it, not the floor, the wall at the bottom half of it is actually visibly reinforced, and the door to the side has a maglock that is only openable from the other side.
Mm.
There is a young human man who is waiting there. He has two cyber arms, and he's got a lab coat on. His the name on it says Dr. Giggles, and he is doing
Yes, ma'am.
something at the terminal there.
I just walk up to him and be like, "Hello, I'm supposed to have like a checkup here. His name's Parker.
So he will pop up and say, "Oh, hello. Do you have a referral?"
Ops friendly.
You must be the new one he told me about. Excellent. give me one moment, and I have to go get the doctor, and he'll get up and he'll go out, like kind of out of line of sight out of the little receptionist area into the hallway down there and go down the hallway. And then a minute or two go by, and you'll see a man walking by in a blue scrubs, and he's got one of those headband thingies with a large silver light on. And he will come up to the door, and you will hear the maglock disengage, and it'll open it up, and it is the same man, now wearing a different outfit. It's like, right this way.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay.
Are your friends coming with you, or are they family, or...
I look back at them to see if they're like inclined to follow me inside.
Interchange just look at you and like with a questioning look, like, do you want us to go with you, or do you want us to stay out here?
No, let's just shrug. I hope I'm not going to regret this. I don't expect to.
He'll just kind of give it a click.
I'm just turning around and walking inside.
Sure. Are you guys following, or no?
I just like look down at Interchange and shrug.
Is there anything that I can roll to like see if this is like kind of weird, or if I could somehow glean any information that might be useful to me, like if I went with her?
You can roll whatever it is you wish. That's one of the things on my table that I probably should have kind of explained to you before we got this whole thing started. But if you want to roll stuff, just go ahead and roll it. We'll see what shakes loose. In this situation, perception, judge intentions. If you have a knowledge skill that is relevant, you guys can throw whatever it is you wish to at basically any time. Just label it in your roll, and I will hear that fancy beep, as I sometimes tend to pace. But I will give information appropriate to...
Yeah, unless you mention anything to him, he's not been in one of these before, so he just assumes it's all happening as it's meant to.
Yeah, he's not really saying anything. I'm just trying to figure out what the character would know. That I obviously don't.
Yeah.
So your judge intentions on the man is something about him seems a little off. Kind of hard to place, having only known him for a couple of minutes, and it's possible that maybe underneath his lab coat he was wearing that the scrubs. It's possible he's completely batshit insane. For perception, you will notice that as he kind of turns around to lead Miss Parker back into the area that's not the lobby. I don't know what that would be called, but the rest of the building. He does have a data jack back behind his ear. His two obvious arms. But and then you have a cyber tech roll I see here. Was there anything else particular for perception? Because you did get 4 hits, and I did not give you 4 hits worth of information that you wanted to know.
I'm looking to see if just anything about his costume change, I guess, is indicative of anything, I guess.
Hard to say. Like, you don't see him with any concealed weapons, so it's not like he's gonna go back in there and chop your friend up. I mean, that could still happen, but you don't see it.
Right. And
With
there's no like he doesn't have like a hidden syringe or something on him that I see, or something weird like that.
It does not look that way. For your cyber tech, his arms look pretty good. Obviously that's not the kind of thing that you can install yourself, so he's got to at least have somebody that he works with or some other kind of connection.
Right.
He doesn't look crazily cybered. He's not like you with your .02 essence. He looks, let's say halfway down.
Okay. The cyber technology role, I'm like trying to figure out, are his arms designed for his occupation like mine kind of is, or if it's more like a combat thing and he's just doing this on the side kind of a thing. And that kind of leads into the gangs thing, see if he has any indication that he's part of like a gang, but like on that police wouldn't necessarily see.
Right.
Does that make sense?
This area is not exactly got a bunch of gang affiliations. It's actually devoid of gangs at the moment. It is, however, um, I'll give you a freebie of this because it's a bunch of organized crime that operates in this area.
Okay.
His cyber tech, while it is nice, it does not seem like it is, you know, concealing a shotgun in his one arm or anything along those lines. But that kind of stuff is sometimes hard to really realize until it's too late.
Yep. And I'm just the one hit is just to like, is it the triad that's here, or like, do I know anything about what
The
syndicate?
Triads have recently taken this area over from. I can't really remember who they took it over from. It's right there on the tip of your tongue. You just can't remember.
Is it another syndicate?
It was another syndicate, but you don't remember which one.
Okay, that's fine. I think I'll go with her, and I look back at Ark, and I'm like, don't do anything I wouldn't do, all right? You can always get in touch with me, and I like point to my head if you need me, because I assume that we set up the NI like a while ago.
Yeah, it'll nod.
I feel like I should also roll Judge Intentions just because my character's really good at that.
Sure, go for it.
Picking like things up.
Have
You-
you pointed out anything about this to me, like, or even pointed out that you think the guy's dodgy? Ethan.
I
Did
think
you-
a little
sorry.
bit.
Did you mean to edge that, or
Did I? No.
yeah? When you put the
That's what
exclamation point.
mark is.
No, that's not what I did.
Okay, so we'll just go count them up. 5. So, 4 hits anyway. Awesome. So with 4 hits, this guy, he's an oddball. He doesn't seem to mean you any immediate harm, but as when dealing with people of questionable mental state, that can always change on a whim. Did you have something specific you wanted to know about him, or just a general?
Just if he seems dangerous in some way. I expect him, if he's working for the parole officer, to be sort of legitimate.
So the only immediate interactions you had was him doing a costume change. But if that is any, let's say he has some kind of multiple personality disorder, or he uses a lot of persona fixes, those kind of
Maybe if
people.
he seems predatory in any way. Like the
No,
way
he
walks or
seems
something.
he seems very confident, as though 3 people who are, well, one of you is a criminal, the other 2 are probably criminals. One is probably flying obvious gang colors.
Yeah.
So for somebody in the situation of having 3 dangerous people in his building, he doesn't seem skittish around you. There's a confidence that he is not in any trouble or danger. You can take that however you wish.
Seems fine to me.
Okay. So he will lead you back to a small office. It's not actually an exam room, but it is a consultation office. And a motion for a chair for you to sit down, if you will, as he will come around and slide into his chair, lean back, kick his feet up on the desk. He's like, so, my good friend Mr. Friendly sent you to me.
Sure did.
Excellent. So, I assume that you have some unwanted accessories, we'll call them.
Yeah, let's just waiting to see what he's going to say.
Well, good news. There is a way that we can arrange for you to not have to worry about them and their little complications. That we can totally arrange.
Really?
Yes.
I'm all ears.
Elf joke. Get it. So, good news. 1, me and Mr. Friendly have a bit of an arrangement made. Bad news. I can't just take them out. They need to be planted into something else, or else when the powers that be ping them to make sure that they are activatable, but not activate them, they'll get a signal that says, I am currently not within a warm meat sack.
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
I will need you and your associates. I can only assume that they are good friends willing to go the extra mile to help out you.
yeah,
And he'll
they're good
swing
friends.
his feet down off his desk and kind of roll around to face you squarely. However, this doesn't necessarily say come free, and there is a certain fee that will have to be paid after the operation.
And what would that fee be like?
Oh, it's a favor for a favor. Won't be that bad.
Sure, so what's the favor?
Well, the first favor you're gonna have to do for yourself is to go and get a receptacle for your accessories.
So, a
No,
cat?
no, they're not near enough to metahuman to trick the sensors. Typically, in these situations, what I use is a pig.
Seems good enough, I guess.
They're actually
So,
very similar to metahumans. Actually, I'm told that ghouls use them to supplement their diet. So that's a little bit of
so
information.
where's the catch?
Oh, there's no catch. It's just I'm not going to get the pig. You guys have to get the pig.
Okay.
Where
Oh,
the hell are you gonna get a pig?
and you probably only have about 36 hours that that I can actually squeak this in before things become a little bit more complicated.
Okay. So, do you have like a pig reseller that I can go to?
See, that's part of the trick. Is here in Seattle, we have a wonderful diet of soy and krill. So finding somebody that is willing to sell you a pig for on the cheap is going to be a little rough. Um, Options that you guys may have is there if you can find some ghouls, they might have a pig farm or know somebody that has a access to some pigs because they, as I said, they like to supplement their stuff. You could go out to Snohomish into one of the agro business places out there and try to get a pig from one of those guys. But
Just
it's all the same to me.
for some reason, stealing a pig from the corpse seems like it would be more complicated than it's worth.
I mean, they got so many of them. They got some of them on their payroll. Know what I mean? And he's gonna smile like it's the funniest thing that anybody has ever said.
I actually laugh at the joke.
But yeah, no, that is my offer. If you can bring me one pig, I can take care of your accessories, and then we can work on some repayment. It's just this.
So what's the repayment part?
Oh, I just need you to help me get some supplies. Nothing too major.
Okay. I mean, surely it couldn't be that bad. You wouldn't want this little scheme to get out. So I'm assuming you're playing a fair hand here.
Oh no, it wouldn't be anything too crazy. I'm not going to ask you to knock down an technology pyramid or anything along those lines.
They're fucking not. So pig, huh?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could get another metahuman that I could put them in, but they tend to raise a fuss and have a little bit of free will associated with them. But yeah, no, you'll have a nice new pet piggy that is your lifeline.
Mm-hmm. So what happens to the pig afterwards?
He goes home with you.
Uh,
Oh man, we get a pet pig?
I mean, fuck. Okay, I need to think about this for a bit.
Sure, sure. We'll cut over
Um,
to the. Are you guys outside doing anything, or you wanna?
Am I in there with her?
I believe you went inside,
Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure that that was. Yep. Okay.
and Archon is out in the lobby. I don't know. What is he doing?
To be honest, he's probably lit up a cigarette. Well, he's waiting.
Smoking in the doctor's office?
I never said he was. I actively said he wasn't.
You
Does just doesn't do it.
barbarian.
And he's just waiting around. He's probably like wandering around, looking at any brochures they have.
It's all digital nowadays. You can get all kinds of wonderful cyberware advertisements, BioWare advertisements. They have an advertisement that you could become a woman that you've always wanted to.
He's probably just leaping through the BioWare stuff.
Sure. Sorry, I can't remember the other character name. Ascend, are you doing anything outside?
Not in particular. He's probably also smoking at this point. Is if there is a let's say a coffee shop nearby, he will have gone there to get a coffee.
There is a soy bucks.
Excellent. Unless the person behind the counter is a human.
Let's roll edge real quick and let's see what happens.
Roll edge, is that what you said?
Yeah, just your edge attribute real quick.
Luck. See how lucky I get.
Yeah, see what it's like to walk in the door, see a human, and turn a 180 and leave.
Roll a d2. Excellent.
Well, it's 2d6. Good news! No humans are on staff today.
Good. This is good.
It'll be a lovely young orc fellow. His apron says Chad, and he will address you with all of the pleasantries that one can have of a life with tusks.
Mm-hmm. I just order a soy calf.
And he will be more than happy to have that delivered for you. They write your little name on it in the little AR signage and pass you your calf. Wish you a pleasant day.
I just go stand outside and drink it and finish my cigarette.
Wonderful. Miss Acid, have you had your moment to just think on things?
I think I'll go step outside the door and see what the rest of the crew has to think
Sure.
to say about this
So
particular.
we'll get the band back together real quick.
So, would I know if like the street doc that we have that I know pretty well, if he'd be able to handle something like that?
As far as the actual surgery transplantation?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could probably do it unless there is some kind of security code with
Right.
the things that maybe this street doc has an arrangement to know. But that's a bit hit or miss as to whether or not that is something that he would have to worry about, and might be something he doesn't discover until he's actually in there
blown
digging
up my
around.
face.
Yeah.
So
But
does
before you
anyone
get
else?
into that,
Go ahead.
I definitely positively want this guy to handle all of this because like you said, he knows how to do it properly, and B, friendly needs to be in on this anyways if it's going to be working for any period of time.
Well, here's my thing: is your parole officer told you how to get out of being tracked?
Yeah, he's gonna fuck me over afterwards.
Totally.
Officer friendly? Why, he's such a nice guy.
So
But
as long
the
as you're
issue
aware
is,
that that's the case.
issue is if I have some other guy have this done, and assuming he pulls it off without blowing me out in the process, then I feel like there's still the issue that friendly sorta, maybe not.
Well, I just want to know his angle. That's all. Before I advise you in any particular direction.
His
This all just
angle is that
seems
he's going to strong arm me into doing what some bullshit is what he's going to do.
right.
But it can't be super bad because, I mean, it could be super bad.
I mean, if he routinely rolled on all of the prisoners that he's done this setup with,
He doesn't
somebody
have.
would have killed him by now. Absolutely. Somebody would have gotten to him. So, probably not too high risk.
Not gonna want to sound like but I'm sort of special a bit, right?
Is there any way that I can look this up, like whether whether he's done this before? Like, not necessarily look it up, but what I'm trying to think of what options I would have to look into that.
What kind of dice to throw?
Like, not necessarily that. Just like I'm trying to think of what kind of avenues. Like, how would I think? How would in character, within world? How would I get in touch with people to ask about this? Like, is there a database out there of all the parolees that are associated with Officer Friendly that I could
Probably
somehow?
not
You'd
public.
probably have to hack the parole office
Yeah,
and
which I
get a
don't.
list
I can't
of
do.
everybody he's handled, and then start researching them.
I imagine at the very least there's rumors going around of officers that have done this. Whether or not it's about him or whether or not you can track any of them down.
Well,
You
right.
could
I guess
try
it's
that.
what role would I have to make to see if I've heard of any rumors of anything like this happening in my networking that I've done?
So to start off, you could roll your street doc and see if your street doc has ever been involved in something along these lines.
Yeah, sure.
Scrolling up here, um, shadow community would be applicable, given as this is not exactly the kind of thing that is legal and is totally a good way to recruit shadowrunners.
Good call.
Let me
All
look at
right.
it. Let me look at everybody else's sheet.
The
Um,
implants, will they be like trackable, like GPS wise?
The kink bombs totally are trackable and remotely activatable. That is part of what makes them horrible.
So I have to have them implanted into something that's then sticking near me.
Sort of. So it's one of those things that they are trackable, but somebody isn't sitting at a computer desk all the time being like, all right, where are they at? Okay, they're at home. All right, okay, they're still at home. They're not constantly watching,
Yeah, but
but
if I turn down off friendly offers, and then he's going to be suspicious why I would do that, right?
well,
And he's
the
maybe
the
going
question
to
you
check on if the bomb's still there next time I walk into his office.
maybe it's kind of hard to, having only interacted with each of them once, to determine if it is Officer Friendly is setting you up for some kind of criminal pressuring to turn you into his pawn, or if the doctor has set up this deal with, hey, I need you to send me guys that I can manipulate, and then he is just on the take for sending people there and then not checking up for their deterrence.
Still, I feel like that is what I would be doing in his place, so that's how I'm going to think about this.
Yeah,
So
it
I
is.
feel like turning down the offer is not a valid side.
It's almost as if they have you between a rock and an exploding place.
Right. So we totally need to do this. Question then becomes, how do we do this? Can't hire a hobo that we can then drug if he needs to stay around my place all the time.
I'm going to point out, like, he said pig, right? He said corpse have pigs?
So in
The farms have pigs. Not the farms.
in Snohomish, there's some agricultural businesses that you could potentially get a pig from. He also mentioned that ghouls occasionally keep pigs as a supplement to their diet.
I don't think any one of us knows anything about ghouls.
But you do know about gangs, and there is a gang that is all ghouls. They are the 162s.
Oh, that is super sweet. We should totally get in touch with those guys.
I actually might.
So I have gang knowledge, so should I roll that to see if I actually know anything about them?
I think we
Sh-
all have.
Sure, you can totally roll that. I don't feel like HME and HPV would be under parazoology. That would be under more of a magical threats or biology type stuff.
I
Okay.
have biology, so I can roll that as well.
Yeah, you guys can throw a whole bunch of dice.
Dice. I'm just gonna keep looking through my stuff.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
2 on
What did I
gangs and 3 on biology.
Oh, I see how this works.
So between your underworld, your street doc, and your shadow community, it is not unusual for somebody to be pressured into doing this kind of thing, especially if that person has specific skill sets. Like the guy who is sent to jail for embezzling money because he's a data entry specialist and pretty good with a deck and gets caught, could totally be tapped to be like, you're going to go on these shadow runs for me because you can hack things. Or
Right.
I'll tell everybody you're actually a technomancer.
Hey, if they get these mage spells off me, I'm gonna suck fucking dick. Just saying.
As I scroll through the rest of the things, with your gang's hits, you totally know all about the 162s and the fact that they are a ghoul gang. They, being ghouls, have a habit, and the 162s especially, have a habit of actually eating people. And somewhere in there, you do know that they might have a couple of pigs that you might be able to
Didn't
find and
Feels
such.
so good after you say that they eat people.
Yeah, they eat people.
Yeah.
The
Let's
re-
not.
Feel like I'm not on board with that.
I
Well,
feel like violence is the answer.
they are still. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with ghouls.
They have to eat human flesh to live, basically.
Yes, but
Well, metahuman.
they are not feral monsters. They are people who have an illness, who have unfortunately gone through a terrible transformation, become blind. Their teeth have become long and pointy. They have claws instead of fingers, and hunger for metahuman flesh. However, think like Fallout ghouls, where there are some feral ones and there are some not feral ones, but they do all hunger for metahuman flesh. The,
But there's
the
a difference between hungering and then actually eating them.
Actually,
yeah.
I kind of have an idea of how we might be able to broker something with the 162s.
Well, that works out because we're about another hour, a little bit more in. We're going to take another quick bio break, mostly because this makes for wonderful uploading to YouTube as hour-long sessions instead of one 6-hour long thing. So we're going to take a couple of minutes to go handle that stuff.